You
Can you hear us now?
right when the new term comes in.
Noreen?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Noreen.
I was going to check and see if that was.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Excellent.
See, Megan. Hi, Megan. You're live.
We're good? Okay.
Terrific.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. All right. 5:55, so we can get underway, and hopefully Michael will join us. Well, good evening, and welcome to the inaugural meeting of the Hudson Recreation, Leisure, and Community Events Commission. I think the first thing to say is thank you for stepping forward and putting your name forward to serve on the committee. Oh, this might be perfect timing.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Mike.
Okay. So yeah, we're just getting started, and the first meeting of the Hudson Leisure, Recreation, Leisure, and Community Events Commission, and yeah, we're really thankful for everyone who has decided to come forward and contribute. So we'll call the meeting to order at 5:36. I think. 7?
Yeah.
I don't have an analog. Sure. So we normally do a land acknowledgement before our meeting. And so as we start our meeting, we acknowledge that we are on the territory of the Sioux First Nation within Treaty 3, and that many of the people and communities that we serve in Sioux Hudson come from Treaty 5 and 9 of the Anishinaabe Nation. Before we jump into the formal agenda, why don't we do a quick go around just for introduction to make sure everybody knows everybody. We'll start to my right. I'm Michael Scott.
I'm Joe Cassidy. I'm the council attorney.
Eugene Grandma. Silver. Nicole Rose. There's Cullen. Executive Culture Department Manager.
And I'm Brian. Oh. Technology.
There we go.
Great, and I'm Brian McGinn. I'm CAO and municipal clerk. So I'm here this evening just to kind of help.
We also have Noreen.
Of course. Sorry, Noreen, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Oh, hey, I'm Noreen from Hudson, just on my way to Horn Pain right now, so I'm sick leave.
Okay, well, I'm glad you were able to join us virtually this evening.
Thank you.
So, yeah, as we often say at council meetings, they tend to be formally informal, and I think that we'll probably adopt a similar thing. We want to encourage discussion, and we don't want to get too bogged down in procedures, but at the same time, there are certain things that we do need to do in terms of making motions and, to record decisions and that type of stuff. So we'll go through some of that tonight. We do have a fairly ambitious agenda. We may not get through everything this evening, and that's okay. I think that we will, because there's a lot of stuff in it, and I will admit some of the introductory stuff can be a little bit dry, and it's not the most engaging meeting you've ever attended, so I do apologize for that in advance. But I do appreciate your time as we go through some of these important things. So before we confirm the agenda, was there anything that anybody needed or wanted to add to the items for discussion?
All I have to do is look after the cat.
Is it possible I think it's just a facility.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also going through that, I did something. Oh, I don't know. That's okay, no. I'm sorry. No, I'm just, I'm getting walked up.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Krista. Anything else? Great. Okay. So as we do with these types of things, if we can have someone move that we adopt the agenda as amended. So, and if we can have a seconder. Thank you, Krista. And all in favor? Yeah, great. First motion. Yay. All right. The next item here is declarations of pecuniary interest, and we will get into what that actually means. I can tell you this evening that nobody has a pecuniary interest because we're not holding on spending any money tonight. So pecuniary interest essentially is if there's a decision that the commission is making, and if you or certain members of your family would directly benefit financially from that decision, then you just have to say, I have a conflict and I won't be able to participate in the discussion of this item. That's essentially what it is. Good. I sort of did this at the beginning of the meeting, the introductions. So we've taken care of that, which is great. And again, so great to see you all. The next item on the agenda is election of officers. So I understand that this being the first meeting, it may be a little too early for anyone to say, yeah, I want to be the chair or the vice chair or the whatnot. So we can do this evening, but we don't have to. If people would like to go through one meeting and just sort of get a feel for it, whatever you prefer.
Most everyone strongly wants the position. I'm okay with waiting, but.
Yeah. Great. Consensus, great.
And it's all. That includes the whole thing, or just the Hudson?
Just the Hudson residents. Yeah. Yeah. Staff will be the recording secretary. We enlisted Ashley's help tonight, but Meredith does have another staff member who will likely accompany her most other nights. So we'll take care of that stuff. So that's not a burden on any committee member having to do the minutes and all that. Yes.
So are you trained staff?
Yeah, well, I'm here for the first couple of meetings just to kind of help with introductions and orientation and doing some of the training on some of the legislation and stuff. So I may not come to every single meeting, but generally it would be your primary resource is Meredith, and then she'll bring someone to take notes. Yeah, awesome, great.
So we'd be looking at a chair, vice chair, and a treasurer?
Well, so what we'll do is I think the way I'll double check the terms of reference, but I think we've set it up so that the municipal treasurer is the treasurer for the commission. That's what we've done in the past when we've had commissions like economic development and that type of thing. So the municipal treasurer is the treasurer of the commission, which really facilitates when the commission has to spend funds, lining all that up. So, and yeah, and the staff resource will be the recording secretary. All right. Okay, now we're actually into the meat.
Just confirmation of the
Yeah. And so in terms of the terms of reference, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to go through that yet. The meat of it, I suppose, is the mandate, which sort of talks about, the key areas that the commission will look at. That's in section 2, beginning on the first page.
This is like the time that if we want to change or discuss. And these, this is when we bring up.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do it now. But we can also, like, if we find that the terms of reference aren't working for whatever reason, if there's something in it that's creating a hiccup or a challenge, we can always bring a report to council. We'll say, we'd like to see these changes in the terms of reference, and we can do that at any time. So we do try to review the terms of reference once a year, just to make sure that it's still what everybody needs and yeah, I mean, some of the stuff is, I guess I would call boilerplate. It's in all of our terms of reference for all of our boards and commissions and committees. Other stuff for sure. We certainly make recommendations to amend as needed. Yeah. So if you've had a chance to look at the mandate, any questions, comments, thoughts? And again, like, this isn't a one and done. Like, as you become more familiar with it, as things come up, feel free to ask questions at any time. But yeah.
Just wondering about identifying evaluating the advocacy for council, capital investment opportunities. How do you expect to make people able to do that?
That's why we have staff support the commission. So the commission obviously will be looking at certain things and say, okay, we want to look at. I mean, we all know the big issue is a permanent home for the Lockley Shopping Center, and I know that there's a strong desire to keep the hall as well. So as we get into that bit of work, then like looking at grant opportunities, looking at cost and capital projects, like all of that work will be done by staff. This commission sort of guides that work and say, well, we need to investigate this. We come back and say, yeah, we did this. And you may also want to consider X, Y, and Z. As we were doing research, we've learned, you know, whatever the case may be. So
Or we needed to fill this function, this role, so that kind of ties into evaluating and looking at options. So
absolutely. So we don't expect anyone to have, you know, a technical background or anything like that. It's really the thing that's really important for the commission is that input and that you know, providing the ability for staff to be able to better respond, to make sure that the needs of the community, you know, are being met in the areas of recreation and leisure and community events. Does that help? Does that?
It does help, but I think it'll take some maybe some trust or capacity to be built really.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that we do this as time goes on. Absolutely. Anything else so far with regard to the mandate?
This is provide financial oversight for assigned programs and services. So are we going over the book?
Yeah. So, for example, if the commission says, okay, we're going to run program X, we think the budget needs to be at $500 for the 2 months of the summer, or whatever the case may be, then that program gets implemented, and then we report back and say, okay, the programming was this is how many participants we had, and this is how much money we spent, and so making sure that those controls are in place that, okay, you stayed within budget, that's good, you know. Yeah.
I would like to include like donation to programs ran.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just as an example, I ran with the
soccer. Yeah.
Well, during the soccer, that's
yeah.
just like a fun thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But and it was completely funded by donors of our community.
That's amazing.
Like I didn't have to.
Wow.
We just did it. You know, and had everything paid for it again.
That's amazing.
So that comes into play with the financial reporting.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Which is nice because the other thing in certain instances, and I don't have the particulars with me right now, but I can bring it. Certain donations may be eligible for charitable tax receipts as well, so that's something else that, you know, we keep in mind. I'd have to look into about what types of things are eligible and so on, but that's something else that's helpful. That can encourage people to donate as well.
Do you want to elaborate a elaborate a little bit on the last point on like management, designated municipal recreation facilities? What is the expectation there?
To be honest, we haven't figured that out yet, and that's part of what I hope we can figure out together. Because maybe the response is, you know what, actually, no, that's not something we want to be involved in, and that's okay. At the same time, I do recall from the community information sessions that we had, there was some input around, it's difficult when you have to rent the key in Sioux Lookout. So, maybe the commission is involved in being the holder of the key or something like that. And how that works, we can absolutely figure out. Maybe each person rotate to, holds the key for a month, or however you guys want to manage that. So that's just one thing that came to my mind that may be of interest.
I think that's great, because I more or less reach out to people that I know that in everyday places.
Yeah.
So if it was just us, then
It's a lot easier. Yeah, absolutely. And that's really, underlying all of the, terms of reference and all these different bylaws and frameworks and whatever. The bottom line to all of this is really about making sure Hudson has a voice when it comes to these matters, which are really important to the community. And so, it's easy to get, what word do I want to use? If I was attending one of these meetings for the first time, I'd probably say scared off by some of the paperwork side of things. But again, staff does most of that work for you. And creating the agendas and, doing the minutes and, all that kind of stuff. So, I know that some of the stuff we're talking about tonight is, like I said, it can be dry, it can be, not necessarily the most exciting topics, but this isn't what every meeting you're going to look like. So, absolutely. Great. Any other comments, questions, concerns about the mandate? And like I said, this isn't a one and done. It'll be an evolution, I think.
It is council though that decides.
Yeah. But like I said, if there are things in here that don't work, or if there are challenges, or if there's things in the mandate that don't make sense, or if there's stuff missing from the mandate, we can absolutely, what would happen is the commission say, okay, we'd like council to consider this, this, and this. Meredith sets a staff report on behalf of the commission, brings that to council. We recommend these changes to the terms of reference. We bring the bylaw that would amend the terms of reference, and then council ultimately would have to make the decision.
So Meredith always takes that to council, we don't.
Well, Meredith is staff resource for, the commission certainly can, the council, absolutely, or any members of the commission, I'm just saying the staff resource is the one to do the heavy lifting in terms of writing the report.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The next section, is governance and guidance, and this is the Municipal Act as amended, the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. That will be one that we're not going to go through the Municipal Act in detail. That's for staff to make sure we're staying within the guide rails. The Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, we will go over that briefly. The Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, not a whole lot of application here, but just a reminder that, the meetings are held in open session, they're live streamed, they're on our YouTube channel. It's a very public, process and whatnot. Any other legislation that may apply, Council Code of Conduct, which is something that we will go through, maybe not tonight, but we will get there. The Municipalities Procedure Bylaw, which we have included as well. Again, we like to be formal and informal, so we don't want to get too bogged down in procedures, but we do want to make sure that we're documenting key decisions and so on. I should make a note too that with regard to minutes, so the process for minutes is we record decisions. So we won't necessarily record everything that is said in discussion. Now, if there are key points that help inform the final decision, we may include a couple of bullet points, but generally it's just this is the motion we passed, and this is what we're going to do, and that's sort of key part of the minutes. The municipality's purchasing procurement bylaw. So again, when we get to the stage where you know, we need to make purchases, staff will guide us through, you know, when you need to get 3 quotes, when you can sole source, when you can, you know, all that kind of stuff, because there's different rules around when we can do those types of things. And then, of course, the commission's mandate in terms of reference, which is this bylaw. We add, again, and this is stuff that's in every terms of reference. The commission and commissioners guided by the strategic plan, the budget, the commission's annual work plan and budget, which we create, you create with staff support each year. And if the commission develops own strategic plan at some point, I don't know whether or not that's of interest, but we can talk about it. And then any other plans which are pertinent to the commission mandate. So fairly straightforward stuff there. Membership, just talks about how membership works and who's appointed and the number of members, and so on. The commission can also enlist other non-voting resources to assist. So if there is a need for that, we can, you know, let's say it's a couple of summers ago, we're dealing back when with the issue of the forestry plan, and remember there was that they wanted to Johnny Trail, yeah, and so on. So in a situation like that, because that's related to recreation, the trail is a highly used, highly valued asset in the community. You know, maybe when the commission, if the commission had existed at that time, maybe the commission says, oh, we would like a representative from M&R to come to a meeting and talk to us about this so that we can explain our concerns and so on. So that's what we're saying when we talk about bringing in outside resources to help, if and when. Vacancies, so if for some reason somebody needs to step down from the commission, maybe they're moving, maybe their family situation has changed, whatever. I mean, 4 years is a long time, because generally the appointment starts at the beginning of the term and go for the 4 years of the term. This commission just happened to create it late in the term, so but if over the 4-year period, you know, someone needs to step down for whatever reason, then we have a policy about how we fill vacancies, and we advertise, and, you know, all of those steps. The number of members, so minimum of 5, maximum of 7. So it's awesome that we're at full capacity at this point, and that's really exciting. And again, if over the course of time, the commission feels, you know, maybe it'd be better if we had 8, or maybe it'd be better if we had 9, then that would be something that we would recommend to council to make that change. I like to recommend an odd number, because when you're taking votes, there's a clear because one of the rules in the municipal act is if a vote is tied, it's lost, it's defeated. So that's how it's interpreted. If a vote's tied, it's defeated. That's how that goes. I think a lot of the time, I know with many of our committees, a lot of time it's like, is everyone good with that? We're all on the same page? Okay, good. So, I mean, you'll still do the vote, but it's generally by consensus. But there may be times when there is division as well, and that's okay. That's why we take votes. So the officers we had talked about are the chair, the vice chair, the recording secretary, and the treasurer. The staff resource shall be the recording secretary, and the treasurer shall be the treasurer of the municipality. So, and typically represented by the staff resource, but if there's certain things that it would be helpful for Carly to attend, then we can bring her into a meeting as well. The election of officers generally will be done at the first meeting of each year, which is our fiscal year is the same as the calendar year, so January 1st to December 31st, from and among the voting members. So we have decided to defer that for at least a meeting, and that's okay. And then the list of those officers gets provided to the clerk's department, because the clerk's department is responsible for compiling the list of positions and who's serving on committees and maintaining a list of who serves on the committees and whatnot. So the role of the chair, in addition to the duties identified of the presiding officer in the applicable procedure bylaw, which is in here, and we can look at that later, but generally preside at all meetings of the commission, sign all formal documents, like minutes, type of thing, within their authority to do so, act as the official, oh my goodness, I'm mincing my words here, act as the official spokesperson for the commission when communicating with council, and perform such other duties as are usually incident to the office of the chair, or that are required by the commission. The vice chair then acts in the absence of the chair. So if the chair is absent for illness or scheduling conflict, or whatever the case may be. If the chair happens to be in town, if the chair refuses to act for some reason, or when the chair declares a conflict of interest. So if there was something on the agenda, and to use the example from before, let's say we were going to run a soccer program, and we were going to hire a professional coach, let's say, and let's say that there's only one professional coach in Hudson, and we just happen to know that it's Michael Stubbs. So on that one, Michael would have to declare interest to not participate in the discussion or vote with that particular item, because it's possible that his spouse could financially benefit from the decision if she were to be hired. Again, I'm just making all of this up, but just to give you an example. Yeah. And again, when the vice chair acts in place of the chair, they have the same authorities, rights, powers as the chair. Again, I am going through things somewhat quickly, so please stop me if you have questions, or if something's not clicking, or feel free to email me afterwards, whatever you're comfortable with. So the commission also has the ability to create ad hoc or subcommittees. Sometimes if there's a specific initiative or a project that the commission feels is important, but maybe not everybody needs to be involved or wants to be involved, so you can certainly set up committees to do, to work on specific projects. So generally the way they work is the committees will sort of be assigned a project from the commission, and then they would report back to the commission, and so the subcommittees or ad hoc committees don't have the same
Authority.
thank you. Yeah, authority as the commission itself does. So like a subcommittee, for example, couldn't say, oh, we're going to spend $1,000 on this. That would have to be approved by the whole table. Yeah. Remuneration. So you are all volunteers, which I know council very much appreciates. And so there is no formal pay for serving on the commission. However, reasonable expenses will be covered as they relate to your duties as commissioners. So if there is, if there are need to incur expenses, ideally that should be approved by the commission in advance, as opposed to, oh, I spent this, can you approve it? I want to be reimbursed. That's a little harder to do, but we'll just say it's good to get pre-approval for expenditures. So in terms of conduct, comply with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, which we will review, declare a pecuniary interest, which I talked a little bit about at the beginning of the meeting, adhere to Council's Code of Conduct, which we will review, and then maintain confidentiality in accordance with closed meeting provisions. So again, as I said at the beginning, generally these meetings are open. We stream them. They're on our Facebook page. Members of the public can attend to watch, which but they can. However, there are certain times, and the Municipal Act gives you from A to K, enumerated specific examples of when you can go into closed session to discuss something. So generally that would be related to things like purchasing or disposing of land or other major assets. If for some reason, I don't really think that this would apply in this case, but if for some reason the commission needed to talk about, well, no, I guess it could apply. If they need to talk about, let's say, the conduct of one specific commissioner or a staff member or whatever, you would do that in closed session. You wouldn't want that, out there. So there are a few exceptions to the open meeting rule, but generally the need to go into closed session is quite infrequent, I would think, but the ability is there if necessary. So decision-making and operational framework. So again, we talk about, this is the terms of reference in this bylaw, the governance and guidance section, the mandate, all of that kind of stuff sort of informs the work of the commission. Agendas and minutes. So we will provide agendas. Generally, they're co-developed by the chair and the staff resource. But the staff resource can also, depending on the preference of the chair, can also, because I know some of our committees, the staff resource, like a couple of weeks before the meeting, will just send out an email, say, anything additional for the agenda, anybody, and just kind of leave that opportunity open to everybody. Sometimes the chair prefers to just sort of do that directly with the staff resource, and then if people want to add stuff, they can do it at the beginning of the meeting. Sometimes it can be more challenging to add stuff at the beginning of the meeting, especially if it's something that may require some research or an additional report. So if we can get stuff in advance, that really helps. Minutes, of course, we are required to take minutes. As I mentioned earlier, they're essentially a record of decisions with in some cases, maybe a few little bullet points to help, provide some context. All the minutes are, they go on the commission's page on the website, and then they also go to council. Council doesn't approve them, they receive them, just so that council is kept abreast of what the commission is doing and so on. You also have your council rep, so you have that voice at the council table every month as well, if and when needed. Okay, so meeting frequency. It says at least every other month or more often as required. Given that we're just getting underway, subject to your availability, I would suggest monthly meetings to begin, but if that's too much, we can do them every second month if you prefer. That's entirely up to you. What I would recommend, and before we adjourn this evening, is if we could establish a meeting schedule. It just makes it much more predictable. It makes it more transparent for the public. So let's say we're going to meet the second Wednesday of every month at 5:30, or we're going to meet the first Tuesday of every month at whatever. So I'll plant that seed now and ask later in the meeting what your preferences would be in that regard. It's also helpful to do that for the commissioners so that you can diarize it in your own calendar. And as you're planning your life, you can say, oh, look, I have a commission meeting that night. Maybe I'll go to that instead of this other option. As I mentioned, meetings are open to the public. Meeting notices, yes, sorry. So we publicize through our website, social media, and all that stuff, all of our council, committee, commission meetings. So that's always out there so the public knows. Quorum is a simple majority, so 50% plus one. So for us, 7, you can't have a half person, so 50% is 4 plus 1 is 5. So we would need to have 5 to have a meeting. Yes.
Sorry, to have a meeting or to make a decision?
To have a meeting, because we've had this request from other committees where they say, well, there's only 4 of us, can we just get together and chat? Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, I try to discourage it, because what can happen is, the wording that they use in legislation is about advancing the business of the commission. So if that discussion is advancing the business of the commission in terms of, oh, remember last month we had talked about this? Well, let's continue to talk about that. The challenge is, if you don't have quorum, well, one, you can't make a decision, like you said, and two, then sometimes people feel left out, or they feel, oh, I wasn't there for that discussion, can you bring me up to speed? And then you end up rehashing and regurgitating things that had happened. So if it happens, you know, we can deal with it, we can look at it. My advice would be not to meet without quorum. However, we also have the ability to meet virtually or hybrid, like we are tonight, where most are in the room and some are online. So if for some reason, let's say it's the middle of February and the highway's really bad, and you know, two people are out of town, one person's feeling a little under the weather, you know, we could decide, you know what, let's just all stay in our living rooms tonight and just join online, and we'll have the whole meeting online. We can do that if that is necessary. Yeah. So again, attendance and absenteeism, we do ask that you let staff resource know if you're unable to attend the meeting with as much notice as possible, and then we would list you as having sent regrets. Ideally, it would be great to get that within a day of receiving the agenda. Generally, the agenda would be sent several days. I know we send it a few days ahead, usually a few more. Generally, we try to aim for about a week ahead of the meeting, just in case there happens to be a lot of materials that are attached to, you know, gives people time to look at them and so on. Yeah, and then if, however, let's say there are, someone just doesn't show up for 3 meetings in a row. They didn't call anybody, they didn't tell anybody, then for the purposes of the bylaw, they are deemed to have resigned from the commission, and then we would begin to recruit a new person. So again, we understand life happens, and sometimes you can't make a meeting, and that's okay. But please do let us know so that we can ensure we do have quorum, and that we can move forward. So with regard to reporting to council, the first item is really, I guess, exciting, because this is where the commission says, okay, here's what we want to achieve over the next year, and you know, and pull that together and present that to council, usually at the February council meeting. So that work plan also comes with a budget request, and then council reviews that and makes a decision. So generally, our boards, commissions, and committees get a sort of a standard $2,500 budget. Now, this commission may be different because of its mandate and because of the work that it's doing. It may be a larger budget. We'll figure that out as we work on the work plan, and we will resource it appropriately. Municipal support, so administrative costs, again, the printing of agendas and all that kind of stuff. We'll take care of all of that. The staff resource, we look at that. And what's really nice about having a staff resource on these commissions and committees is that it really eliminates the need for commissioners to have to, oh, I need this piece of information. Okay, I'm going to have to call the building department, I'm going to have to call the bylaw department, I'm going to have to call the public works department. Whereas if there's something you need, just say, it would be helpful if the commission knew or had information related to da-da-da. Then Meredith goes back and figures out who she needs to contact and pull that information from to pull it together for you. So, financial arrangements. So the municipal treasurer is the treasurer for the commission, which really just means that that they have to oversee the money that's allotted, that it's being spent in accordance to the work plan or motions that are passed, and so on and so forth. We mentioned the purchasing procurement bylaw, which talks about thresholds and when you need to get multiple quotes and when you can sole source and single source and all that type of stuff. So we have that. As I noted as we were discussing other things, expenditures should be approved in advance by motion. The staff resource or designated municipal staff person shall be the purchasing agent for the commission. Commissioners shouldn't incur debt or obligation on behalf of the commission of the municipality. And so that's really important. Because sometimes it's so easy to say, oh, I know we're going to do this. I'm going to run the home hardware and charge this to the municipality's account. And that will create some heartache, unless it's approved in advance, in which case then Meredith's probably making those arrangements on your behalf anyway. Agreements. So the commission or any individual commissioners is authorized to enter into any or sign any agreement that binds or obligates the municipality. If the commission wishes to enter an agreement with an individual or entity, shall be forwarded to the municipality for review, processing, and execution as necessary. So we want to keep this. We want this to make sense, though. So I'll use the example again of hiring a soccer coach. Like, this isn't going to be like a 3-month process. We say, okay, the commission says, okay, we want to hire this person. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, there.
We're in the fire hall and come here for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Oh, gosh. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, I hope they're very successful. Ooh. Is there anything else over there, like on that side, or like any structures or anything that you know? The beach.
Kind of like you can see some muffler in the pictures. Remember there? Oh.
It has. We were so fortunate to have missed the what they got in Kenora. Oh my gosh, they got plans, but yet we're not getting much of it yet. Oh. Well, thanks. All right. So we had talked about agreements. So generally for those types of things, if there are agreements that need to be entered into, Meredith would just forward it to me, and I would sign off on those things. Limits on spending. So again, whatever council approves for the budget, and then that's the budget that the commission has to work with. And the commission doesn't spend funds on capital purchases. So, like, if we needed a, I don't know, $10,000 tractor to maintain something, she whispered, "That's right." She was like, "Oh my God." I do have an idea. It's nice to vote. I was looking at.
There we go.
Yeah. So any capital expenditures would be, the municipality would make the purchase as opposed to the commission itself. What's the budget? Oh, That, we haven't created it yet, so it will depend on what the commission feels it requires, and then that will go to council for approval. All right, applying for grants again, the commission wouldn't be authorized to apply for grants on behalf of the municipality. This is more of a formality about who is recognized as the entity, the municipality or the commission. So again, any grants that are identified as beneficial to the commission, again, pass a motion, we'd like staff to apply for this grant in this amount, and then staff will take care of the process of applying for the grant.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we want something and we see the business grant that we apply for or whatever, we can't do that with the Butchers Commission. But what if they're too busy and they make priority as
Yeah, I mean, I would, like in a situation like that, absolutely, we'll talk about that, and if it makes sense, then someone on the
one
commission
person can't do it all is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but like, for example, like if it was,
Copy and keep stuff I've done.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And not that Meredith would be the one to do it. Yeah, like, so for example, like that's, again, one of the nice things about the commission is you sort of have the resources of the municipality available to you. So like, we have folks who are really great grant writers. So if it was a grant, it wouldn't necessarily be Meredith writing it on behalf. We'd say, okay, we need this grant, and our grant writing person, I mean, I wish we had someone dedicated only to grant writing. That would be awesome, but we don't. But it is, we do have a few on staff who have a flair for that. So there's multiple resources available. And so if everyone was booked up, then obviously we're not going to pass up an opportunity. Like if it really makes sense, then we'll.
I just don't want to get wayside.
Absolutely.
And down bottom of goal.
Totally understand.
I think the other thing to recognize with this, with some of like the mandate and what we're looking to do, is to go through a process and identify some things that we want to see or we want to look at, and you almost build shelf-ready applications or ideas that you have, so that when it does come out, it's not such a burden to do the grant as well. And that's the other thing too, is some of these grants, they come up and there's a very narrow window to apply for them.
Yeah.
So having some of that stuff and going through some of the mandates and having some stuff as shelf ready as we can will help that process as well.
Are you calling Joe here or Council Kathy?
It was fine.
We're gonna find it.
Formally, no. Because I count them. They already call them. All right. Again, approval and review terms of the terms of reference mandate. I had sort of highlighted that a bit earlier. So review once a year or more as necessary, and then we would just make the recommendation to council for any revisions. Yeah, so that sort of takes us through our the terms of reference, which is sort of the key document for the commission. I mean, they're all important, but that one is probably one that you may reference more frequently. So there we go. I think in going through the terms of reference in some high-level way, anyway, I think sort of touched a bit on the roles and responsibilities of the commissioners. And again, I think the short version is everyone is here to work together to support Hudson and to support things that we want to see happen in Hudson. So that's the core roles. And beyond that, yes, there are some specific responsibilities for the chair and vice chair. And obviously there are, when we go through the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act and the Code of Conduct, there are things that, we need to be aware of. But really the gist of it, the core of it is about implementing the mandate and working on those things to improve Hudson in ways that meet the needs of Hudson. And we can always have a more in-depth discussion about that if that's, if at any point it's unclear. Happy to have that chat. In terms of meeting procedures, I'm not going to go through the whole procedure bylaw at this point, but just to sort of highlight that the important, quorum is important. We have to have our meetings. We take votes on our motions. Our decisions are recorded in the minutes. The agenda is sent out in advance. The meetings are open to the public and so on. So those are some of the sort of the key aspects of meeting procedures. And again, staff are always here to help provide guidance if we get hung up on something at some point. Meeting schedule. Oh, now's a good time as any to talk about that, actually. So, as I had suggested, it's really helpful to establish a schedule so that everyone kind of knows when it's happening and it's anticipated. That's not to say that it can't be changed if something comes up and the majority of people are like, oh, wow, that night really isn't going to work this month. Can we look at something else? Knowing that as soon as possible is really helpful. Because if for some reason we have to change the meeting, then we also have to provide notice of that to the public. So, so that's important. So, looking at, and I know this may be the worst time of year to do it, because it's summer, and people have all kinds of stuff going on.
Not Monday or Friday. Often those are
Holidays or, yep,
so
I'm with you.
Monday or Friday.
That's great.
The second Wednesday of the month is. It's okay to meet here.
And let me actually that's yeah. And we're saying we're going forward for every month for
Yeah. Yeah. If that's what is good for you guys. Like I said, I know summer can be really tough because people have earned their vacation time, and a lot of people like to take it in the summer. So that's totally understandable. We can move things around, but
It's good for me all the time. I gotta go to pickle for first.
Oh, okay.
So the fifth will work for the next month.
Okay.
yeah, I could join virtually, but
I could go and join virtually.
Oh, okay.
regular council.
I heard they do.
Yeah.
We're-
It's fun. Yeah, like at the same time again, that's why we say it.
Right, because we haven't moved the council meeting because of the annual conference, the Association of Ontario annual conference. That's where the mayor goes and talks to the ministers for lobbies or things.
The 12th.
The 12th.
This doesn't work for me.
That's yeah.
Not gonna work for anybody else.
Keep working. Yep. And we can do that if you prefer. Like, if you want to skip August and just be like, let us enjoy the summer.
I'm just gonna continue with the mini sauce.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Cool.
I know a couple little girls we in Mark.
They've been asking me all week. So, 19?
You want to talk to the next one? I would like to correct the next.
Great. Okay.
I'm good.
I'll talk to the 19th. It's fine, but then thereafter would be the second Wednesday.
Yeah.
So then we'd be looking at the 9th of September and the 14th of October.
Yep.
I'm glad that we can join virtually if necessary.
Yeah.
We have to take
And that's all the number of tables from December.
Oh,
So November 11th is going to be Remembrance Day, and that will be our November meeting, just heads up.
okay, so we'll have to reschedule them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll want to observe the day. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
We'll have a meeting before the October 14th, or what we're going to do. Yeah, we go.
Exactly.
Nine.
And again, which I'm really glad you said that, because if there are things happening and the commission says, oh, you know what, we should probably have a special meeting to deal with this one particular issue or something that's time sensitive, we can do that too, if there's a need. So what date's the election? The voting day is Monday, the 26th. Voting period is the week, that whole week, the Monday prior to the following Monday, 8 days. And the term of the current council expires on November 14th. The term of the new council begins on November 15th. Usually what happens is I ask the new councilors and mayor to come into the office on the 15th, where I administer the oath of office, just so that we formally have people sworn in case there's an emergency or something like that. And then we usually have the inaugural meeting the first week of December. And then we administer the oath of office again, so that it's sort of more ceremonial then, and people can watch and family members can attend or whatever the case may be. I was just thinking the November meeting. Yeah, so that we may have to forego the November meeting just because of the signing, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay.
So what happens between October 6th and November 16th? Nothing? Is that just for the meeting for the new council? Oh, yeah.
So, well, it'd be October 13th, right?
October 13th?
Yeah. For the meeting, yeah, it would be on the 13th, and then because that's the second Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops.
I just thought I was wondering about what council has.
Yeah, so we're good. We're good for an October meeting. The November meeting we may not be able to have, because I'm thinking it's going to be right during that time when one council has ended and the new council has started. Because and then what we would do is generally at the either the inaugural meeting or the first meeting. So the inaugural meeting will be the first week of December. The first regular meeting would be the third Wednesday in December. And usually at one of those two meetings is when council does all of its appointments again, reappoints people to commission. So we will have our list all ready to go, assuming you all want to continue on after a few months. Then we'll just put all your names forward again. And then I would anticipate that the new council would reappoint everybody.
That we can start again in December from this? Is that?
Yeah, so I have to double check the wording on the policy around that oversight. It only happens once every 4 years, and I tend to forget, so I will go back and check on that. So at one point, we had that the commissioners continue to serve until their replacements are appointed. So if that's the case, then we can continue to meet. I'm just not sure if that wording had changed. So I have to go back and look at that. So if that's the case, then we can meet in November. It's just that Joe wouldn't be here, or a council representative wouldn't be here for that. That would be
the whole business stops until we have everything all set for the new.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we won't have to stop, just so that
we're just getting started.
Exactly.
That's what I'm.
Exactly. I'm going to do everything I can to help prevent that, because I do think once you get momentum, you want to keep rolling, and I totally understand. So I will check on that. Can you remind me to check on that, please? Okay. Meeting schedule done. I just realized that I brought with me a facilitator's guide, which I did not refer to yet. I guess this is all up here. Although I'll go through and look at my notes later and be like, oh gosh, I should have mentioned that. Actually, I'll look through it really quickly. Nothing too bad.
Yes. You've done this before.
Yes, usually at the beginning of every term. So this is one thing that you will be able to avoid is I usually go to every committee and go through this stuff with every committee at the beginning of so. Yeah, don't feel you're getting special treatment. Everyone is subjected to the clerk side of Brian at the beginning of each term. So on the item of communications and protocol and whatnot, so generally the staff resource is sort of the primary point of contact between the commission and the municipality. The staff resource and the chair would be the primary contact between the commission and council. You know, whenever there's things you need to report on or request or recommend, whatever the case may be, if it happens to fall outside your scope. We will, one of the things that is important is with regard to records. Emails, you know, between staff and commission members and so on, those emails can be subject to freedom of information requests. As everyone is, you know, just maintain that degree of professionalism, politeness, and you know, whatever. The other stuff regarding records, like we take care of making sure that, you know, the minutes are filed permanently and, you know, all that sense of the agendas and, you know, that stuff gets posted on the website when it needs to, and all of those types of things staff take care of. One of the things we will discuss as we move forward, not at tonight's meeting, is how, when, and how we'll document other community input, because I think that, you know, again, it's fantastic that you have all stepped forward and are willing to give your time, but you know, there was you know, a fairly large contingent at the community information sessions, and so there may be other people who have other things and ideas and so on to recommend. So I mean, I think a lot of that will probably happen organically through just conversations on the street or at the drop-in center, at the hall, or at community events or whatever. But just making sure that we have a way of sort of documenting that input and bringing it forward, and deciding, you know, do we want to spend any time exploring this further? Do we want to put that on the back burner for now? Do we want to jump right in and make this our new priority? You know, those types of things. So I will defer to you. You are the experts on how to communicate with the community, how to get input, when to consult, you know, all of those types of things. So, you know, staff will really be relying on you on those pieces. You know, when, how much, and type of things. And then public-facing communications, so website updates, event promotion, social media applicable, and so on. Again, you know, staff will take care of doing that. You may decide this is the message we want to send, and we want to make sure that it shows up here, and here, and then staff takes care of making sure that happens. That she's correct. And obviously the chair's role as the official spokesperson when communicating with council. So yeah, those are a few notes on communications. Again, questions welcome. If things come up, and things do come up, like it's hard to cover every possible what if situation. So, you know, again, I do encourage you to ask questions, send emails, you know, feel free. Good. Any immediate questions or comments on any of that? Okay, now we get to the point where you finally get to stop listening to me for a while and we get to hear from you. So item 6, current recreation, leisure, and community events overview. What we're really hoping for here, and to get back to what Joe said, is sort of a brainstorm of things that already happen in Hudson that are popular, that are a priority, that are, you know, things that you think are, that that happen regularly, that are expected, that are well received. I think that may be a useful place to start, because I think, we have learning to do as well through this process. And so so that's why we put that on the agenda. Is we're hoping to hear from you about what's happening, what works, what do people like to do, all that kind of stuff. And again, this doesn't have to be an exhaustive conversation. The conversation can start tonight and it can continue. So, Brian.
I guess we can go through my current time and then just carry on through a few,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So this will be the third week. I'm just doing like a mini soccer league, and so my girls are 1.5 and 3, and everybody is, I think the older boys are just in kindergarten, so that makes them 5,
6 years old.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's between 1 and 6. So they don't really play soccer. They really got around and pick flowers. My God, no! Oh, no, boy! We're flower pickers.
We'll talk about
Yeah, we do that on Thursdays at 5 at the ball diamond, just because of the grass. And kind of how I mentioned, I just go through people who I know that will. I was like, Dave, can you make sure that's grass?
Perfect.
So yeah, and I have the nest. I bring the ball. I bring. One day I brought a tub of water for the kids to cool off. Next week we brought lemonade. We're talking about various snacks.
Nice.
So week 1 we had 7. Week 2 we had 10.
Wow. That's awesome.
And anywhere between 1 or 3 kids came from Sioux.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. None from my school actually yet. Totally, yeah. I kind of did it on Facebook and made a point to say like everyone's welcome. I didn't point out a school though. I think I said people from the. I'm just asking. Yes, for sure. It would be, yeah. Yeah. And I think like the age group, like my oldest could go into the town soccer, but my youngest she'd be too little to do it. And I did get some feedback from some other parents that like, oh, they're too little to be in it yet. They just want to not be involved.
Yeah.
They're like, no, and then so I think it's just very casual. I do a quick warm up and then make them chase me around and then we take balls. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of fun.
So yeah, I'll probably do that for, I don't know, July, August.
Nice.
When is the pavilion going to be completed?
I would say very soon. I just got pictures. Yeah,
The last quarter has to go up.
that's what it looks like, right?
Oh,
Wow, that's awesome.
where are the half balls on there?
It's like a wind barrier.
Is that the only where it's going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
You're thinking of.
Very close to completion.
Yeah, it looks great.
I think if we could get it together. Like that. Just something real simple, real like yeah.
Gather.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, some nothing too extravagant or anything. Just keep it nice and simple, but we kind of missed July 1st with everything, so it would just be a nice plate. Nothing almost looking.
Are there going to be any permanent barbecues out there at all?
Grills or anything?
Did we have everything?
I don't think we've had in the past, but again, this is exactly why.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah. There was
Meant at the bottom and then the middle.
I think too.
Yeah. is on the pavilion side and then one where the change room.
There's those ones like they use in the parks, right, where you can like, they're elevated, they're high, and you can put charcoal on them or, and then.
Yeah.
Like a, we have to wait for anything. Yeah.
I think they do, yeah.
Because it's the area, not everybody has the means to bring them barbecue.
That's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that,
Looking for material. Dumped on that road. And graded to make it pass easy with the wind.
it's really bumpy right now. I can't share.
It's horrible.
You know, we went there last week.
Like you basically drive down that road and just edge of the road.
Yeah, which one? The whole thing from start to finish, or from the lunch to go to the beach?
Start to finish.
It's probably that road too. I just recently found out, because I know like our municipal property kind of starts at as you're coming down the hill right at the launch. But our public works went and assessed the road and they said it does need some work. And I was told that by the M&R that it's our responsibility. So I mean, it is something on our radar that we know we have to do. We just have to.
The level to go from the track to the road to the track is quite the dip too, or because it's graded different.
Yeah, that's even 3 or 4 truckloads.
I know, it'll be a big, but it is on, I recently found out that it's apparently our responsibility, so. We are working with public works to figure that out. Great, yeah.
Is it the place that works at the garbage cans? I was talking about all day.
Sure. Again, we're formally informal. Yeah.
Recently a post, right?
There's a dirty diaper,
Yeah, there should be.
especially garbage cans before. Because that was when I was there the first before the rest was lifted.
Before the vote.
Yes,
Yeah, but they're two separate.
there's 2 separate entities.
You'd just be able to build it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big thing with the vote function, right?
Oh,
You guys said no?
No, I use a boat lunch. If I bring something on the boat in my truck,
Okay.
put it back in my boat in my truck, and I bring it home. I don't know, and then you put a garbage can there, you're inviting fish guts, you're inviting air issues, 9 boat launches, staff maintenance time, you just, you know,
People don't drive from the boat launch to go into boat base.
no.
History has shown it might be the odd one ever, but nobody on you drive their boat or no.
It's not worth it.
And worry.
No, it's not the worry. It's just, that was the rationale for all the boat launches, why we didn't do it.
So
But-
some of the things then, the garbages that cans that were there.
That whole thing. That whole baby.
Yeah, sure.
That acknowledged now and that we could expect a return to pretty ten to be moved on that.
Yes.
Could it happen this summer, do you think?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
That would be.
The pet bags are there.
Oh.
Looks good.
Oh, good.
See, that's it.
Yeah, the stands moved somewhere else or whatever, but it's still there.
People using it.
I don't know that. I didn't.
Hard to say.
That's the other thing. You lead over some water, you can't make it drink.
Yeah, but you know what, I'm not seeing it.
That's good, yeah.
Dogs or cats. Yeah,
On the beach anyway.
right.
And I send a lot of people down over the weekend.
Generally good.
Do you recall what was there before?
The ground.
In the ground?
Leave it with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have,
We have,
okay.
pretty sure we have.
A clear one, right?
It's just, it goes down really deep, so
Yeah.
that it doesn't have to be emptied as right.
That's all. There.
And it's got,
Yeah.
small little hole.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, you might still be able to get the arm in, but they're not gonna, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just, yeah.
It's not a full bear-proof can like the one you see at the highways,
No,
rest stop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not those ones.
Still get in there too.
Yeah.
we'll find a way.
If you're hungry enough, right?
Yeah.
I know I'll get into anything if I'm hungry enough. Okay, good. Anything else regarding the garbage cans? Get them back.
Right, thank you.
We're good?
I'm just wondering, I mean, in my thought, I mean, obviously it will depend on surveying the land, the ground, but my thought was closer to the pavilion. It's a location to put it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's where like, if
The activity is gonna happen.
yeah, like if we had an opening barbecue get together thing.
Yeah.
We want to close by.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, the people would be, you just buy the change house, yeah, buy the change house,
Things like that.
yeah.
So like two kind of centralized locations where people might be gathering, fire pit and pavilion.
What else goes on at the pavilion besides like a barbecue? What other kind of events or any activities?
People, family parties, they have that Christmas party there, yeah, and it's always been very, informal, you just show up, but there's been no booking system.
Yes.
Show up and book.
Anybody, if they make it easy, you show up.
Yeah.
Hey, grab the wait, I brought you in.
Which can set for your beach. And there.
No. I'll have to think about that and look at that just from, but absolutely we'll look into it.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, or Jersey. And we went to.
Yeah, I know, I don't think.
I mean, now houses are there, but.
Yeah.
I think it's just get the sheep and the
I think we've talked about that today, but I believe we were saying we weren't going to be maintaining, but what that would be.
We'll have to like.
And I know we supposed to go and check it every so often to pick up garbage. Right. I think we have to maybe even signage like. Take garbage. Yeah. Don't make your garbage.
Yeah, where the, yeah, I was.
There is, yes, there is, chip and seal planned for a number of locations up in the season.
Is the municipality in charge of Vernier Beach? We call it lots of different things, but yeah.
Yeah, I honestly have to find out because, it's been unclear to us in the past, and we've had a couple of conversations with M&R, but I have to circle back with them on that.
And I'm waiting for them to send me the documents that say that we're responsible for the road.
Yeah.
So I can maybe.
Yeah, have that. So, yeah.
That's there, I know that's supposed to do it. Oh, anybody got some shingles, somebody got some pieces of
Yeah.
wood or whatever, I got some paint or whatever, that was 2 years ago that happened.
Yeah.
But previously, we used to have built-in barbecues that were in there, that you bring your briquettes and salad and picnic tables, and that you can actually use the place and not have to.
Yeah.
Do barbecues as well, for
Yeah.
kids, and we have that.
Yeah, we'll absolutely look at it all. Like if it's a municipal responsibility, if it's our property, for sure, we will absolutely investigate.
Like, we bring our rakes out there, and we rake the beach when we go out.
Yeah.
And it's not just Hudson, they. Lots of Sioux people go out there.
Mhm.
Getting very popular.
Oh, yeah, lots.
It's a beautiful beach.
That's a long.
From the residents. I think that would maybe dictate whether or not.
You're right.
But believe it or not, it may not, because the beach itself may still be a crown land, and we wouldn't be collecting taxes there. So, I know we definitely collect taxes, like from people who live, let's say, like on Renway Road and so on. So,
Like even some of the properties you drive through to get there, you're like the road is actually on private property in some spots too, like to the patent land out.
yeah,
Kind of weird. It is.
Holy, so family has property over there, they would be paying taxes.
Yeah.
So who takes care of the road?
Yeah, they design on the location.
And the winter plows the road,
Cars and speedo, so
it doesn't?
not in winter, it's not maintained cars.
Oh, because my brother was talking about buying going, well, they would have years ago.
Yeah.
So there is a road association which gets funding Cottagers Association, I think it's called. And they receive money annually from the municipality to help maintain the road, to plow it, there's a number of road associations in the municipality that get money from the town every year to help if the town doesn't take care of those roads, so they get the money to maintain them.
So it's like farmed out, so it's responsibility of the town, but that's farmed out.
Well, actually, it's a little bit different, because like, for example, plowing in Hudson is contracted out, but and we directly hire the contractor and pay them. The road associations are a little bit different, where it's based on, there's a rate, per kilometer, and then that actually, a check actually gets cut, and it's given to the homeowners association or the cottagers association, and then they determine how it's spent. They hire a contractor, or they share the money amongst themselves and take turns, clearing the road or whatever. They do it, some do it differently, but
I want to say that the roads in Hudson this year were very well plowed, very well maintained.
I've heard that a few times, actually. Yeah, we've got some really great feedback
Yeah.
on the Galen's work. Yeah, our company's work. Yeah.
Because like the lanes, always get plowed, and then all the fences and everything get wrecked because you're pushing all the snow, and now they're actually removing the snow and the things.
Yeah. Cam works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron
Yeah.
Galen.
Yeah.
They actually put sand down on burger. That's a cheer.
You think?
I believe that's what's waiting.
You said month by month, you were talking about events. There's like, yeah.
Well, this one.
I don't know when, but usually the soccer thing, but wouldn't it be like something to baseball? That'd be so fun. I don't try to be able to study one with one.
That's, I think, the one thing I wrote down there for the summer is just any kind of youth programming and things, right? Like, that would encompass baseball, well, at all.
I think that soccer one for me would be easy because I have the equipment, but if it was baseball, I'd happily just like,
Yeah.
if I had the equipment, the town had equipment.
Yeah.
That's, I think that's part of it too, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, and like coordinating, making sure the field, if there's equipment that can be used from the town and put some over here to help you, so it's not coming out of your pocket, or,
Yep.
or the commission.
That, we did have to replace some of our equipment this year, but we're working on that, but yeah.
Because stuff's available.
Yeah, we can store it in the hall, see? In, Kermit Hall, yeah.
A lot of we had, what do they call them? Park for where they go to speak. They're actually older.
Well, there is one here, she's not really well maintained. My geography is terrible, so that way, I believe, there's a.
Behind the basketball net.
There's a pavement that's just it's destroyed, but that's what it was at one time.
I thought that was a curling.
It was, but after that, then the kids, like, there's a couple of jumps there and stuff, I think. Yeah, because I had to take the kid home tonight, so it was rain, rain out of it. So 10 years ago. I know, it's crazy, it was like 10 yesterday, I swear. Anyway,
This is when I realized I'm not the master.
Well, just because I think, two kids yesterday up and down, of course, it's the highway, right? When, right in front of the post office, up and down, and like, we need another place to be.
that is what that was at one time, but it's not maintained.
Any ideas, maybe we could revamp that, or?
Yeah, that could be one of the website.
We need like a park for the kids to go to, somebody's supposed to look into whether the schoolyard
Yeah,
is what's going on with that, and we still put stuff there and maintain that, I think the black school, that last meeting that we had, somebody was supposed to look into.
We're still waiting to hear back.
Oh, they don't first. Oh, no.
the cat.
Not,
Not the yard.
not the yard, so as far as I know, the yard belongs to school board, so.
Who's saying cats is on that then?
I will.
You can catch something that you can check, like, I think that might be the easiest way to check, because who's paying the taxes, who's the bill going to?
And then we can find out, hopefully, like, or where to have here, there's spot here, like, get this needed, these places to go.
Mhm.
It's not bad, but it's, there's not, like, you know, when there's plexiglass, there's not, and there's it's just like this. Oh, it's not the code, if you would, anymore, like, yeah, one of my daughters did fall off it. It was in the winter, so it was only 4 feet, not 6 feet, even if it snowed. Yeah, fell right off, missed the slide, and so it's like things like that, just little
Sorry, is that?
things that would be,
Oh,
Yeah.
like standardized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Insane, whoever is in charge of this.
So the
Or
look at opportunities for the playground or some,
Yeah.
structure for kids, absolutely.
One thing first to own, because Blackpool, if they own it, they've been fine. Yeah, the kids using it.
But if they own it, then they should also be making sure it's safe.
I mean, they're using it, you know. But, yeah.
And the basketball court is over there, I know.
I think Kennedy brought it over, yeah, my daughter brought that up at the meeting, I think about.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Did they get it right? I don't know if they did. Did they get replaced?
No, because we still don't know. What they're doing, but,
Yeah.
like, replacing them is easy, but you can't necessarily replace stuff that isn't ours.
So I don't know if this qualifies under events, but one thing that I'd like to get started, and Brian, I had discussed this with you previously, was a community garden.
Mhm.
And the other half of the skating rink, the half that was partitioned off. When they made the rink smaller, that area, I think, would be great for our community garden.
Mhm. Yep.
I don't quite know yet the vision for it, if it would be the way to look up those stairs, which is, there's beds that are rented by the year, or if it would be more of like a community effort where it's just community volunteers who maintain it, and then the food is distributed throughout the community. Or maybe a combination of both, I don't know, but it's something that's like, we'll have us work on everything with that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Do we have summer students who work, like, I was a summer student when I was a kid here, and all the stuff here, are there actual students that work in some class and then do stuff like craft, so that was it all on days?
We have had challenges with students coming to Hudson in the past. Pardon?
Transportation.
No, we gave them the vehicle and they just went other places.
Yeah.
So no, we don't have students coming to Hudson. We have Dave doing that. We're also looking at,
Students in Hudson work.
we haven't had any applicants. It's extremely difficult to get the kids to work in the summer doing that kind of work, like mowing lawns and painting stuff and whatever. Like, we had our, we had a position a couple of years ago, and these are pretty well paid positions for summer students. And the position was offering $22 an hour, and we offered it to the student, and the response was, "Oh, this is a student who is in grade 11 going into grade 12," and the response was, "I don't work for anything under $25 an hour."
Take the babysit for $2 an hour.
So yeah, it's like even recruiting the basic complement of grass cutters is like pulling teeth. And in fact, most of the time we're short, almost every year.
I'm sure people going to get hired, across the city, $5, you know, like, that's wow.
And we can't compete with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, community garden, I think, goes in the work plans. I think that's,
Like, to the perfect.
Yeah.
You know what, I find this job deals, that's another idea too.
Oh.
3 years, and then they also buy the grades, and then after
Yeah.
that, they'll get consoles, right?
exactly.
So it's another idea to do.
Yeah, I want to.
Awesome, great.
Are you thinking, like, start develop this year and plan?
Yeah, I had hoped. Yeah, whatever, like, I'm open, like, it's not mine, right? It's.
Like, I think I've done some community gardens or whatever.
Yeah,
They've got some raised beds, I don't know how many, it's 20 or whatever, 30, I'm not even sure however many. And so they've taken those on whoever's plants or whatever, and now they share the whatever, so people can go there, they can read, they can do or whatever, and just feel good in it, right? So
I guess that means that we would have to have that access
water rate.
for the water.
For the water, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Dave's pretty, positive, like, when I talked to Dave about it, he was very, like, positive in wanting to help with that.
the skating rink building, is that available for to be open all the time? Like,
It could be, yeah,
so this would be more of a recreation activity.
absolutely.
Is this the bathroom function? Yeah.
It's less comfortable space.
Yeah, it wasn't on family day before. But I think they were gonna look at that.
I didn't know it was operated, right?
Maybe, because I brought it up to him and he was kind of surprised.
Yeah, it's funny how to operate.
Yeah.
They put instructions on the wall because
Oh.
But is there running water at the sink though?
I think
It's just a pump.
it's a pump, like it's what you get.
Like a big pump.
one of those.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really, yeah.
Not awful familiar with that.
I'm just saying that if there's a washroom facility, then more things can happen, and if there's access to the building to put on something.
Absolutely.
Dave is out here every day, 5 days a week.
for the most part, yeah.
Same in the winter, but what are his hours in the summer?
In the summer, it's Monday to Friday. He does like a 7 to 3, but he does also have a lot of time off this summer,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
not necessarily Monday to Friday.
So when he's off, he isn't the place stuff.
We will send someone to water the flowers, like do those other, like, cut the grass that's necessary.
You cut the grass at both ways.
That would be Dave.
Oh, because it is cut, and, not, it was cut the other day, but.
So he was,
Well, and like the weed eating. I'm just saying, I took my 83-year-old mother for a ride, and she's like, I wonder if anybody remembers my fault. What? Because he never had to be told or must have cut the grass.
yeah, so
So
Dave,
just saying that she didn't have a good memory, but I have to remember that, yeah. Horrible between the rocks and stuff.
He was off.
That's what that's.
So
I did not, yeah.
yeah, so like he's been off, and like I said, we'll send the guys from Sioux a couple times a week to kind of try to keep things going, but we're also short in food with staff too, so we're doing what we can. But I will bring that to Dave's attention now that he's back.
Yeah,
Sure. He'll get on top of it for sure.
With
Yeah.
kids.
I think he actually went there today and said there was a ton of garbage that he had to go pick up that day, so. So he probably noticed the grass, but I'll make sure to remind him, and then if he needs help, we'll send someone from Sioux to give him.
So instead of the summer students, or the summer positions for people who aren't a student, that may just want to work summer, I'm just trying to think if there maybe people local or whatever that want to work casual hours or whatever that need help, like Dave's a one-man show in this town, obviously, by the sounds of it, so he needs help. Their positions or funding to be paying somebody. I went to students, well, that's how we did it in the summer when we were kids.
Yeah.
All of us that did it, we think that they're not.
Exactly.
So if there's not, is there?
We have, in previous years, had, seasonal labor positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could certainly look at that, again. We'll be looking at a number of options. Well, and that was the other thing too this year, that made some of it even harder than it usually is, is that, we received 0 funding for student grants this year. None.
Those are being.
Federal grant. Yeah, we got, so look at what we this year. We got applied in January.
They're gonna get, not put all this on day either, they just get some walk, but we would do maybe something.
No.
Walking to work, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
So we're actually looking at a number of items and options around summer maintenance, for Hudson, for next season. So we'll continue to explore that. And
That's a lot of trees.
that should be done regularly.
Right. The trees are huge where they are, the person, yeah.
Okay.
What about for the trail systems? Like, I know there's the main one that's with the Forest Street, you have the John Loops.
Yeah,
But is there a few other ones around, like, and then,
those are, certain people back here, there's an entire system, a massive system. And
is that all?
5K.
there is a,
So I think that was a thought I was thinking about too, was like, it'd be cool to have board, there is an art map person at the town now. That could be a really cool, like, a map for people, like, they're coming where the trails, where, like, just kind of something like, when you go to Wonderland or whatever, you get that kind of cool map.
It's just
Something to-
formative week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Did a couple times.
But I think that'd be something cool that it could be shared online too for people to see, or it could be posted somewhere visible in town that.
And it's just local people that are going out there and
It is.
big branches.
Yeah.
It's probably the trail.
it's less utilized in the summer months because it can be swampy in areas.
Yeah.
But winter, it's very so buzzing. And they were like coming down, but fall and winter is fantastic, and we've now seen groomed and maintained by residents.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Same with the trails on Cedar Bay, that's all maintained.
Yeah. It's one of those things that would, that's probably just maintained, but promoting it, right? They take some thoughts and that trail that walk you, right?
Trail, like on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then there one this year.
Yeah.
That was my kind of thought, if people love hiking.
Right.
People that move to the area, like hiking.
Yeah, and I was thinking that we could even do guided walks on occasion, so that people who aren't familiar with the area and are afraid to go into the bush by themselves.
Who's it? Chisel that does the medicine. Yeah, it does medicine walks, stuff like that. Just want to do that as well.
Fall is the night, is a really big back there. Like I said, it is taking up swamp. Yeah, I think that would be great. We're into the Wapiti.
Yeah. That's why I haven't.
Careers, yeah.
I'm like behind the new sign. And you go to both ways.
I don't think I've done the Wapiti. There's also not really a trail out, or maybe it is. You get to the fall.
So, when they just open up,
That's not
privately open?
I've always gone from Pelican down the river.
What's the difference? It's a different trail that you're,
There's one from Hudson that goes down, you know which
I know,
one,
you're talking about
the one we took.
yeah, it's like
There's just no place to park, you have to park on the road and then go in. But it's pretty cool, because you get to the end and it's like this beautiful waterfall there. Big Vermilion flowing into Pelican. Yeah. But again, I think you're going through hydro property or something or part of it, so there's.
no, but though just when you're going down, I think it's part of the island.
Oh, okay. Near the fall?
So yeah, it's not on. That's what we see in the purpose of the calendar. It's the height.
Oh.
Like by the track.
Oh, yeah. No.
And then.
You're at work.
Let me get you a question.
Sure.
Actually, so there was some conversation that I had with just some community residents about the trail system and the cost to maintain it and donations. If we are receiving donations, who owns that money? Does the town own that money, or does the commission own?
Yeah, I mean, it would be, if it's a donation made particularly for something in Hudson, then, I mean, the town will hold the money, but it will be the commission to decide how to use it. No. No.
And if we wanted to raise money for equipment to maintain our trails in the winter, the town would have to buy the equipment.
Yes,
But I think that we could raise money specifically for that and not for anything.
So
Yeah.
when you're raising money, you have to have a lottery license.
Question, I don't know.
Well, it depends what type of fundraiser you're doing. So that's one of the things that you will be limited on because you're attached to the municipality. Lottery types of fundraising won't be available, because municipalities are not allowed to benefit from the proceeds of lotteries. So raffles,
Those are all out.
those are all out.
So bake sales,
What's the-
Bake sales are good. Bake sales,
craft sales,
craft sales, all that stuff is fine. Exactly.
That's the only question. So what about if we had New Year's Eve social? No liquor license?
Liquor license you would probably need, like a special occasion
We
version.
can have that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And like already in our, the facility alcohol policy, the hall is already
Yep.
designated as a facility that's allowed to have, alcohol, special occasion permit.
Right.
Sorry, can I inquire, the length of our meeting this evening?
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. We generally try to keep these to about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops, just because usually after that people start to get tired. So we are coming up on the 2 hour mark. But this is a really good conversation. I apologize that stuff took so much time.
With more.
Um,
Just to keep us going.
Yeah, no, thank you. All right, so just quickly getting back to the stuff that is happening. So I know Members' Day is huge in Hudson.
Generally, not able to have a whatever week.
We would need, yeah.
The weekend does that, but
Okay.
there's volunteers or.
Yep.
That way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff that Mike's been doing at the home, I think it's been pretty successful, very successful. Yeah, I think that's been.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
If we had over 100 kids at it.
Oh,
Now it's Sioux, Luxor, ever.
And that's kind of not really on the schedule, right? In kind of when you're able to, with his work.
absolutely. Yeah.
Like I
I'd
don't,
like to do a brunch at some point over the summer, whether we can get it, through their festival or whatever. I already have the supplies. I just need help.
yeah, I won't be there for Blueberry
Yeah.
Festival.
It could be any time during the summer. I just have 2 cases of bacon, pancake mix already, and syrup and everything bought, ready to go.
and I think we do well that way on pop-up things or something.
Yeah.
Label them instead of being okay with food, yeah. Some stuff is structured, but most of the stuff is just, hey.
Yeah, how does everybody feel about doing this on that weekend?
Yeah.
Even high level, like something like just monthly, like what's gonna happen, like the holiday ones are kind of in the brainer. You know, that mentioned Santa Claus thing.
Yeah, the Christmas present.
Christmas present.
The kids'
Pretty
present.
good, like that's-
Awesome.
yeah.
I skipped last year, but I think I'll be ready this year.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Krista, that's, you want to continue doing the Christmas dinner, just you guys, or do you want to?
We need also that gotten bigger and bigger. This would be like the 4th annual community Christmas call-up. We also do a community-wide cleanup that would be in May, and those are regular occurrences.
Mostly through the shopping center, like the, like, and stuff, like,
So would that be like, is that where we want to do the, I forget the word, but the code group? You know what I mean? Like the subgroup, subcommittee. Or depending on how you guys want to,
I think it's
bring it to us, with us, or we work really for us, like, be considered as part of the commission, it's like without the time. People are different, it's not the same.
One thing that I was doing on, like, when I was on the environment committee was, if there's initiatives or things in the work plan, you just tag a lead to it.
Yeah.
So be a lead, so, and then put that in the work plan, and then if there's supplies or needs you have, you can still bring it to the committee, but yeah, you just be recognized.
we tax sales too.
So continuing what we're currently doing in our leadership roles. And being the lead for those things, like for me, that example of being office. I'm not gonna put that. And then reaching out to the committee when there's volunteers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say that I thought it would be more like we would meet as a group or a team and discuss events and then maybe move forward together, or I can see them going, like, I don't know if we should move forward already thinking that maybe, I don't know if I'm communicating well, but I feel like would we not want to try to, work together where we
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that it really depends on, as Joe suggested, and the next meeting we'll bring some sample work plans from the committees just to kind of give you an idea for brainstorming. But say, the annual Christmas, dinner, the lead is Krista, and then however many people from the commission you need help with, you say, hey, are 3 or 4 of you available? If you're all available, great. We use all hands on deck. That's one approach for sort of like a one-time event, like an annual event like that. But let's say there was there's definitely been some talk tonight about needing to do more different types of programming for young people and so on. So maybe that is something that is going to take more planning and more time. So maybe you create a subcommittee to work on that. But that's not necessary. If everyone wants to be involved, that's awesome.
That's it. The lead can be the whole group.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't just have to be one person, but if there are things that someone's already been leading and working on, and it just continue to the lead, it's just.
I think we're concerned some things are so labor intensive. We found out the hard way that it's very hard to get volunteers from maybe a whole group of volunteers. I'm very reluctant to think that maybe, you'll end up being the lead on a project where you desperately know you need help. And, possibly that help isn't available.
Absolutely. No, that's a very fair point.
I think my thinking was that I didn't want to like jumping in and something that you do all the time, right?
And you know what, it's not the center.
Yeah, and that's, I just didn't want to, it's something you guys have been doing so well, and just like, okay, now we're doing it. It's like a yearly, really, but yeah, the first year I attended and it was, I do not plan on missing.
Pictures I thought were amazing. It was.
Honestly, it's happy and be vocally from the talking centers, like they're quietly driven and working on it really. And it all.
Fantastic, which is great too, because I know, it is sometimes difficult to get volunteers, but we also want to make sure that those opportunities are communicated, when things are happening, and because we also don't want anyone to burn out.
We need all age events too.
Yes.
There's a lot of seniors.
Yes.
I think there's like lots of kids in town too, and there's a time there's hardly any kids.
Yes.
And now it seems there's census out there too.
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
We need stuff for adults too, in the in town. Things like, we used to have a strawberry tea.
Yes.
Yeah. And because we'll go and pick strawberries out in the next few days. I was asking my mom how that all went. You know about teacups, right? It was about 2 different teacups. And then
Yeah.
strawberry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they came in for and stuff like that. Yeah. So just something like that. So that'd be his first thing, and he's gonna go and get the strawberries and take them. Anyway, and go with the safety, but I like to have a show, and this is what we Friday. Anyway, that's the stuff that for all ages, and that would bring people that come here in the seasonal in the summertime.
Exactly.
Back visiting and maybe to the cottage or whatever, and remember all that stuff, so.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You put a picture of the strawberry social?
No. I must give everybody else a picture, that someone sent me, and I'm serving at the Strawberry Social the year that I ran for Queen, and won.
Oh, wow.
We didn't run the same, I'm saying,
Oh,
but I thought
I don't know. Yeah, if I give the money for the town,
you can see it with the old, there's something smoking, and then.
the green will never be allowed that stuff, that all of the gambling, that obviously, pushing the blue brown name.
Hopefully this year maybe we can pull something together for July 6th. Yeah, even just. But for this year, I would like to do something.
Pavilion. Do we wanna talk about a date for the pavilion?
Should we look at our calendars maybe? We're allowed to communicate.
Would that be the
oh, yeah.
first step is picking a date, just because then you know.
Yeah. I know,
And then we know what we're gonna use to do.
Yeah, so before the end of summer, I personally am gonna be away till around 8 from August.
And we don't have a meeting until the 19th, so after that meeting,
What did you say if I just gonna be done?
I didn't, I don't, it looks pretty close. Yeah, yeah.
So maybe,
so that's a little bit now.
Yeah.
What about on this one?
that I'm not 100% sure. The other one looks like Laurel and Jason to me.
Yeah, I know that.
Where we are now. Right. So November, yes, remember to see which is the Legion, but we can just call them. They always need volunteers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with the cemetery, what's the cemetery?
So,
That used to be questions.
Okay.
yeah, Galen had the contract. I'm very surprised.
I'm still looking at calendar.
Or is it only for, it's not just for winter, right?
No, he has the summer maintenance.
Snow removal and.
No, he has the summer maintenance contract.
Oh, well, we should there today. Yeah, I went to.
Yeah, on the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the boss on the bird, she was, yeah.
So where are we at with the cemetery?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll follow up with Galen. I'm surprised that he's not maintaining it. That's what he's being paid to do. So I'll to follow up with him on that. I'll go over there now after the meeting, take a look myself and take a few pictures.
But where are we at with the cemetery?
Oh, in terms of the transfer? Yeah. So we're having a really hard time getting the trust money from Alberta. That has been an ongoing challenge. And we just 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, had the court actually say, okay, yes, the land is now in the municipality's name, which was an important next step. So, and then I just have to follow up with Bob on the record.
Yeah, Bob's been taking my mom, but provision is not great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and her hearing is not great.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
He's been so great. He's been so helpful, and he's done all the heavy lifting with the service stuff and whatever.
So something that I wanted to float as well for an event, I guess, is something I've seen in Newfoundland is they have, I don't know if they do it in Nova Scotia, they have what they call a flower ceremony. Do they have that in?
No.
So it's very similar to the ice candles that they do in
Yeah.
but it's in the summer.
Oh.
So I just thought it would be nice to do something. A lot of people there. That cemetery grades, and there's no so far my mom.
Oh, yeah,
So there are grades that she didn't, like,
She didn't know.
with the kids,
Yeah.
didn't know who was
Exactly.
kids, like that's how, so I
Yeah.
thought maybe it'd be nice to like have a, what do you call it, a non-denominational or an interdenominational
yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so if we wouldn't have to do what they do in Newfoundland, I think they make sure there's flowers in every head. It's beautiful, it is, but not everybody, celebrates isn't really the right word, but not maybe it's
Yeah.
the right word. It's like not not everybody, I'm gonna say celebrates,
Yeah.
it's the same traditions and ceremonies, so I don't want to like, especially with that cemetery,
Yeah.
because it is,
Yeah.
you know, very, you know, exactly. All kinds of relations out there, so I don't want to make it just one thing. It's probably just whatever people would be comfortable with
Yeah.
celebrating in their own way.
Yeah.
But have a day where we do that.
yeah. What a great idea.
That would be nice. I love it. It's really beautiful, and you
Yeah.
see every headstone with
Yeah.
numbers on it. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So we used to do it in Manitoba where I was there, Steve, and David in the cemetery, so all volunteers, so you had people that were cutting grass and weed eating, and then we had sweepers, you bring your broom, and then after the one of them go to the hall and it'd be a luncheon and stuff,
Yeah.
cake and sandwiches and stuff
Yeah.
like that afterwards.
Yeah. We,
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I mean, we've known a lot of good people in this town, right? And it would be nice to be.
yeah,
I was thinking September, when it's not so hot out.
yeah,
And things have kind of settled down and people are actually around.
yeah.
Still nice to get out, but not, yeah.
Yeah, but not hot and not interfering people from
I mean,
running.
let's not drop the flowers to shed.
One, a variation on that idea that we did for a few years in Sioux House, was, for the cemetery, we did a promotion called, Mums for Moms,
Mhm.
where people could buy mums and put them on their,
Yeah.
family members, monuments, yeah.
When was that done?
Oh, it was a little while ago now, yeah, I can't even quite remember the year now, it's been a while though,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you gonna, you're not gonna leave it there?
Why, I'm, my like, it's not been 2 hours.
Yeah.
It has, yeah,
Some people, maybe we'll think about.
Yeah.
Bringing that.
that would be fantastic, yeah,
Events, facilities, equipment, supplies.
yeah,
Those are the three good things.
yeah,
I guess it's facilities, events, equipment, supplies, just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
categories for to think about.
Great.
Good, so we'll just keep getting in.
We didn't really talk.
Yeah, we'll just,
Did you have more stuff to say? No. Okay.
awesome.
He might get in really talking much either.
So we know he has ideas.
You know, just before we run out of the door here, you know.
Oh, good for today.
So, next meeting is?
Next meeting is August 19th at 5:30. And if I could just look to the adjourn. Okay, thanks.
So, yeah, we don't talk anymore.
Oh, no,